Alright, on this video we're going to be using the MIT App Inventor to program your robot to drive with the right joystick only and to also operate a spinner that would shoot balls out using two motors and two servos that would work together to have the balls come into the robot. So what you want to do is make sure that once you go to the correct address, you want to log in with your first and last name in class. It's important you do it with no spaces, your first, last name, and that'll make it easy so we don't overwrite each other's projects. It might look like you have to enter an email address, but in fact you don't. So just enter in your first and last name like this and hit login. You're not going to have any projects started, so you're going to have to go to projects and start a new project. Once you've done that, what you want to do is drag and drop the FTC robot controller and let go there. You want to drag and drop an FTC linear op mode. Do not drag the FTC op mode. Drag and drop this one, the linear one, right there. Drag and drop your game controller. Drag and drop. In this case, we have 5 motors, so I'm going to drag and drop this 5 times. And then drag and drop 2 servos in this case, right there. Then it's going to look similar to this. What you're going to want to do here is, well, we don't have to do anything there, but on this one you want to give it a name. This is what's going to show up on your phone. So you call it Teleop version 1. The game controller, leave it. This one you're going to want to hit rename. In this case we're going to call it left_motor. I'm going to rename this one to be right motor. This one rename to be called left motor. Left spinner, right spinner, and then the servo, we call it servo 1 and servo 2. After you've done that, have this name match what's here. So notice that I've made these two things match all the way down, so make sure you have this right. Okay, now it's time to do the blocks, and I'm going to go ahead and explain this, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it quickly. So, alright, the first thing you're going to do is go to the FTC Linear Op Mode 1, and you're going to drag and drop this in. I have a little error right now because I have a duplicate, but again, I'm going to go ahead and do all this over here so you can see how to do it. Okay, next is we're going to have to go to the left motor direction. So right here, left motor, and you want to make sure that you get this. Notice how the puzzle piece kind of goes in the up direction. So when you're looking at this, you don't want to look at where the puzzle piece is on the left. You want to look at this one. So we're going to go ahead and drag and drop this right there, and then we're going to go, notice it says left motor direction reverse. So I'm going to look through here, and here it is, left motor direction reverse. Now the nice thing now is we can just right click and duplicate. So now I'm going to change this to be spinner, and this will be spinner, and then for the servo I'm going to also do this and do the direction, which is going to be right here. Now, why are we doing this in the beginning? Because more than likely one of your motors is going to have to be reversed, not both, but one, so that we can give a positive value of power to drive forward and not have, say, the left motor be a positive number and the right motor be a negative number. So that's why we're doing this here. For your robot, it might be the right motor. It might be the right spinner. It could be servo too. But that's why we're doing this here. Okay, so now we're going to do something important, which is that we're going to go right here. It says this op mode. We have to do this thing called wait for start, and it's something that you need to do. It's right here under FTC linear op mode. You drag and drop this. So basically, the robot's going to do this code, and then it's not going to do anything until you hit the start button. Then after we do the start button, we're going to do a while statement. So if you go up here, it's going to say right here, the fourth one, while this here. So what's happening is that it goes through this code, hit the start button, and then it's going to do everything inside this while loop. It's going to go from here down one line at a time, and then it's going to go back up and do this over and over and over and over again until it ends. So the first thing in this while loop is we want to go to the FTC linear op mode, and we want to call up the op mode. So we want to make sure that it's set to active. So this one right here, call up linear op mode and activate it. So that goes right there, right after the wait for start. Now we're going to go ahead and start to set some of our motors. So we're going to do the left motor power, and after that we can right click, duplicate, and change this to be right motor. And then we want to notice here we have a special thing here where you see how it has this plus here and the minus. So what you want to do is go up to math and look for this plus. So we have this plus, we're going to need that, and after we've done that, we're also going to need this negative. And so what this basically says is when we have the right stick Y and the right stick X, we're going to have power to the left motor. And with the right motor, it's going to be set to the right stick Y, and we subtract that with the right stick X. It's going to have our robot drive with a single joystick. So now what I'm going to do is go to the FTC gamepad. I'm going to look for the right stick Y, which is right here. I'm going to drag and drop it just like that, and I'm going to hit the right stick X. Look for that one. Put that right there. And then I can drag and drop this guy right here. Oops. Drag and drop this guy right there. Then I can duplicate this. Duplicate this. And I'll just change it to be right here, not change anything. So we have the right stick Y, and then we move this over a little bit so you can see right stick X. And we have right stick Y here with right stick X. Okay, so that's going to take care of driving the robot with one right joystick. This next section here, this is different. This is an if then else. So basically, if the X button is pressed on the joystick, then it is going to move servo 1 and 2 to the max position. If the X is not pressed, it's going to move servos 1 and 2 to the minimum position. So it's kind of like an on-off button. You could move servos a certain amount, then you wouldn't be using max and min. There's other values you can put in here. You'll have to experiment with that. But anyways, under servo, first I have to do this. I have to do the if then. Now this is the one you want right here. Do not pick this one. It is not the right one and it's different. It has this left puzzle piece. You want to click this guy here. And then if you hit this blue button here, I can add an else and drag it right here. So now it says if then else, and that matches what I have there. Be sure you put it here and not here. It's important. So that would be wrong, and this is right. Okay, so we're going to call up the X button on the gamepad, but you could obviously do something different. So I'm going to put, so if the X button is pressed, then we're going to set servo 1 and 2, the position of them. That's the wrong one actually. Make sure you get one with the puzzle piece kind of going to up area. So I go like this, duplicate, so servo 1, servo 2, and we're going to be doing the position of them, and we're going to do them to the max position. So look here for this max position one, and duplicate that. Then we could duplicate this, put it right here, duplicate this one, and then just change it to be minimum position. It goes really fast if you do the copy and pasting, and I got just got to change this to be servo 2, double check servo 1 max, servo 2 max, and then it's going to be minimum. Alright, that looks good. Double check your work. The next thing is going to be an if then, else if then, else. It sounds like a lot of stuff, but if the right bumper is pressed, we're going to spin the left and right motors at half power forward. But if we press the left bumper, then we're going to spin those two motors backwards at negative 0.5. Else, if neither button is pressed, we're going to have them be at 0, not moving. And then this linear out mode idle is needed to kind of close the loop for the program. Alright, so go up here to control, pick the first one like we just did before, hit the blue arrow. So we're going to first do an else if right there. So now we have if then, else if then, we need one more else. So put that right there. So make sure it looks like this, if then, else if then, else. And make sure you drag and drop this. Again, not here, but here, so it's inside the while loop. Alright, so we're going to use the right bumper. So look down here for right bumper. And I could even duplicate this right here, and we know we're going to do the left bumper, that next one, and we're going to set the power level. So we're going to go to left spinner, and we're going to do this one right here, and go to math. Best not to run a motor at full speed until you've had a chance to make sure it's not going too fast and whatnot. So this one's going to change it now to be right spinner. So that looks good. And I'll duplicate this. right here, I'll just type in a negative symbol, have it run backwards, and here it'll be 0. So again, if we do the right bumper, it's going to, left and right spinner motors are going to be going forward. If we do the left bumper, left and right spinner motors are going to be going reverse. And if neither button is pressed, it's going to be at 0. Finally, we want to go to the linear op mode and drag and drop this idle in. All I can say is really pay attention to, if you put this here or there, like make sure that this while loop encompasses all these things and that something like this isn't over there. So make sure, really pay attention to that all this stuff is in the while loop. All right, you guys will not have this error because you're only going to have one of these. So hopefully that was helpful. This is going to be a program that you can modify as you see fit. All right, watch the other videos of how to get on the phone. All right, thanks for watching.